think that's something that they would be looking into.
Good morning, everyone. I'm in my car. I have to run to the doctor's. My back is really not in good condition. One thing I wanted to promote later today, and wait till some people get in here, because I'm not going to be able to, I'm driving, so I definitely won't be able to read. I can see you. I can see, but I won't be able to read too much stuff since I'm on the road. I'm honestly waiting for Trump to come on because I want to hear what he has to say about what happened yesterday. Very interested to hear that. Surprised we're still, we also need to address Australia. I mean, I think we have a couple of times. A lot of people are helping out here. It's becoming more and more people are knowing about it more and more than they did before, because I didn't know how bad it was until I would say the weekend. But I also want to come on here and let you know that later this afternoon, around 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Miss Murder Australia, also Miss Murder Now, she is going to be having a live she's having a live interview with this woman, Tatiana. God, I should know that off the top. Tiana. She's written this new book, and it's a fiction. It's based on a true story. It's based on the Watts family murders, but it's told in a way that it doesn't glorify Chris Watts nor drag the families back into anything that they should feel horrible. It's a way of telling the story, getting the story out there, and not kind of feeling slimy about it. Like, after this story has been on YouTube, on every internet channel, on every cable channel, there's a lot of people still just talking, coming up with different theories about this. And this is a person who took this story, changed the characters around somewhat. It's still the same story. It's just different characters, different jobs, different place. It's such a great story. I really think if you listen to this author today, you will have a really good feeling about this book. Because at first I'm like, ugh, another Chris Watts thing. Can't handle it, man. I'm so sick of this story. I'm sick. All this family wants is some peace. This is a way that you could tell the story and actually give family peace at the same time, I feel. It's different characters, different everything. The families really aren't in this book. And that's what's awesome about this book. It's very different. It's very, very different compared to, if you want to know about the Watts crime and not have to really read the real story, I suggest you turn into Miss Murder or Miss Murder Australia or Miss Mystery, however you may know her. She's going to be having it today, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, with this woman, Tatiana. I will be on panel with her, along as another woman we've been working with as well. True crime is really not my forte. I do enjoy it. I love to watch it. I mean, I do have a sister that is a lawyer, but what does that mean for me? Absolutely nothing. But I get very interested in this stuff, and I'm kind of looking forward to talking to this woman, having this discussion today about this book and about her. And I did get to read a small part of the book, and I gotta tell you, it's good. It's written very well. I'll let her tell you more stuff, but it's a good book. It's a really good book. Hey there, I'm sorry I didn't see who it was. Woo, I can't see. Hey, Red Rum Media. Woohoo. Is that Sandy? Hey Sandy, how you doing? Like I said, I can't see, but I really hope if you can all join us this afternoon at 4 o'clock. We would just love to have people there. And we're going to have a question and answer. We do want to have a question and answer session in the end to allow anybody who's watching to ask your questions to this author, whatever your questions may be. So we're going to give that time available to people. Also, you know, I'm sitting here, I'm driving to the doctor's. After what happened last night, you know, normally when this stuff happens, the president talks immediately, or at least in my past experience. So waiting for Trump to talk, I'm concerned just like everybody else. I'm slightly nervous like everybody. I got really nervous last night, I have to say. Living through 9/11 and, you know, having to run for your own life at some point, you don't ever want to do that again. I don't ever want to do that again. Nobody should ever have to do that in this country, living in this country. Sorry about that. So yeah, it scared me. It gave me that same kind of fear, like, holy shit, what's going to happen? We do not know. Yeah, no, I'm driving. I know, I'm not reading anything, I promise you. I did read that. Oh, the name of the person who is conducting the interview is Miss Mystery, or it's Miss Murder Australia. I'm gonna get her links up like after, because I'm driving to the doctor. I have to get this shot because my back is so bad. So my doctor wants to try this new way of trying something, so I'm in for whatever because it's been difficult and I need to start moving because my back feels like solid concrete and it's not fun. It's very heavy. Big tractor trailer right beside, as close as he could freaking get to my car. I hate tractor trailers. I despise them. And of course, a place where it's like narrowing down to one place on a bridge. Like, Jesus. I know, I'm terrified, but I'm waiting. Trump was supposed to go on at 11, I thought. So I'm waiting to hear. I had my phone on. I'm like, oh, I can just listen to it on the phone. I'm like, wait a minute. I could listen to one of the news broadcastings here and at least let you guys know what was going on for this afternoon. What do you guys, how are people feeling about this? Like, I'm not even sure how people feel about this. I know how I feel about this whole thing with Iran. I mean, these people hate us. That's for certain. They do not like us. They hold up signs, death to America, you know? Go ahead, honey. Go ahead. Yeah, sorry. A little young person in front of me who was trying to merge and couldn't. So, this is how I feel. As being a Democrat my whole life, I kind of became a libertarian in the past 3 years, just because Democrats, in my opinion, are going so left to the point where I don't understand it, I guess you could say. I've done my reading and research. I don't know. I mean, this is a tough topic, but guys, when people are attacking us, we had to respond. And that's what I don't, like, people don't understand. We had to do what we did. And a lot of people think, oh, it's, you know, due to the impeachment. Guess what, y'all? I don't think he's real worried about impeachment. I don't think he is. Because as a lot of, like, I'm just saying what the Republicans are saying, it's all BS. There's no concrete, real evidence. I don't know. As a matter of fact, I have to be honest when I say I took a break from politics. I seriously took a break from politics, because no matter what you said, you were going to get shit on. No matter what anybody says, and you're talking about politics, you're going to get shit on. Whether you are left, far left, in the middle, Republican, or alt-right, you're going to get shit. Somebody's not going to like it. Someone's going to come after you. The fact of the matter is, this is America, and due to that, we can form our own opinions. When I checked, that amendment was still there, that we had the freedom of speech and freedom of thinking, you know. But the fact of the matter is you know what? It's the whole hate culture. I'm so past the hate shit. I can't handle it. I tune out of it, because I don't know what, I can't, I have too much going on in my personal life. Not to say that you don't, but medically wise, if I get too bent about something or too upset, it will come out in a different way and I'll get sicker, and I gotta figure out. And my husband and I said, oh, hello, tractor trailer. My husband and I said we had to figure out ways of just the political climate and all the climates, just keeping it lower in our house, keeping the news off, and maybe reading articles instead of just listening to everybody. And so that's kind of what my husband and I have been doing lately. But I feel
protesters back in November.
I do feel that if we are being attacked as Americans, that we need to protect ourselves, especially from people like this leader who was a really bad guy, killed thousands and thousands of people. You know, he was a bad dude. So I support, you know, whatever the military feels is best for our country. I do believe that. I do not believe that we would just walk into a war with nothing. I can't imagine that this could be used as a pawn. There's more than just Trump that's involved that would have to make these calls. The heads of military, yes, he is the president, but he is not the be-all to say-all. They could be like, Mr. President, this isn't a good idea, you know? And these are people that he listens to because he has to. He has nobody else. I mean, I don't think he goes on just his own opinion. I think he's smart enough, but I think he wants you to think he does. That's for sure. You know, he loves to talk about himself. He loves to, you know, everything's huge and wonderful and powerful, and he's a different president, y'all. You know, he's very different than what we've had in the past. And then, you know, Clinton was a very different president from what we had in the past. We didn't have a president like Clinton before Clinton was, and I thought he was the coolest dude in the world. You know, I really did. I thought he was super cool. He pulled me in. I was like, Clintons! I was all about the Clintons. Until I had a friend who worked in Secret Service. Then I didn't like the Clintons so much anymore because I found out a lot of stuff. And I tucked it away because I was still a Democrat and didn't know what to do with that, because you're still young. You're still impressionable. You still... I mean, my parents were hardcore Republicans growing up most of my life. You know, they were hardcore Republicans, and then I became a Democrat. And so my sisters were all Democrats. I do have a sister who is still a Democrat. We don't talk politics because I don't necessarily agree with the alt-left, the very far left stuff. I just don't. And that's my personal opinion. And with this going on, I guess it's important to know what you're saying and what you're talking about. And I feel I read enough stuff that I think I know what's going on, pretty good about what's going on. I just don't get overheated about it, and I think about it, and then I think about what would we do as a country in the United States? What should we do to keep ourselves, our people, our troops, our military safe? It's I would love to say I had the ideas. As a matter of fact, my best friend called me this morning and I said, well, I got to go to the doctor. She's like, well, while I'm in school, she's like, you need to solve the problems to world peace. Okay, bye. I'm like, okay, I don't know how to do that. If I knew how to solve world peace, I'd have a whole hell of a lot more money. Whole lot more money. All right, now we're getting closer to the doctor. But I am looking forward to this interview today. I mean, just to kind of get off the political and everything that's going wrong with the world when it comes to Australia, Iran, America, wherever. It's just crazy shit, man. It's crazy. And I am
within their own country, and so I think this was ultimately it can be seen as a face-saving exercise by that Iranian government, because they knew.
Does anybody know if Trump is on yet?
The consequences would have been.
I would think
this is less than a month away. A strategy of what happens now.
Trying to like flip
I
through
do
stations.
wonder-
I don't hear him talking, so that means that he can't be talking yet.
Do you have any
He's supposed to be
intel
on at 11 o'clock.
About
I'm supposed to go get a shot at 11:30. I'm going to miss the whole shit. And they better have it on there. But I plan on staying in the car until I have to seriously go in.
Been escalating attacks on our interests for a long time throughout the summer and early parts of this year. The fact that he inspired their
All right.
proxies.
So we're still waiting. It was funny because my daughter came in last night and she says to me, "What's going on? What's Dad talking about?" Because my husband was the one who found out. I was on somebody's live last night, and I didn't want to blurt it out. That's for freaking sure. But I told Molly Golightly, I said, "Look at the news. Just look at the news. Look at the news." Because I know she's a military family. I was born in a military family, so it's kind of different when you have friends and family who are part of the military. But I'm still not hearing anything from him. But I have to say, you know, I'm worried as well. I'm nervous as well. I don't want to have to run, which I felt was for my life back in 2001. I thought I was leaving a city that was going to be hit by planes because somebody on TV said that they heard that the plane was coming to Philadelphia. And it was like a complete, utter mass exodus. It was not... It was just, I'm not saying we were as bad as anybody else, but it definitely scared the people who were working in the city that day.
And the president's national defense team. We are looking live at the Grand Foyer of the White House, where the White House says that we will hear from the president. He will address the nation on the events in Iran that took place last night. John Roberts is standing by at the White House. We've got notice that Jennifer Griffin at the Pentagon.
Still waiting. I thought it would have been over and done by the time I got here. But apparently not. It's scary, y'all. It's especially with kids. It's even scarier. You know, I had went on Dana a little bit's channel the other day, and she was mad about something. And once she'd realized we had sent troops. Yeah, I see that, Sandy. I'm probably going to go as soon as I go inside to the doctor. I'll probably put her on, because obviously he's not live yet, and I've got to be in there in 5 minutes. So, so my suggestion to you all, if you want to like hear this and hear somebody, go over to Molly Golightly. I mean, I don't have anybody really here except for like 3 of you, I think, or 4. But I'm getting ready to head into the doctor.
The American people should be extremely grateful and happy. No Americans were harmed in last night's attack by the Iranian regime. We suffered no casualties. All of our soldiers are safe, and only minimal damage was sustained at our military bases. Our great American forces are prepared for anything. Iran appears to be standing down.
It's okay.
Which is a good thing for all parties concerned.
Thanks for being here,
and a
Sandy.
very good thing
I'm just
for the
listening.
world. No American or Iraqi lives were lost because of the precautions taken, the dispersal of forces, and an early warning system that worked very well. I salute the incredible skill and courage of America's men and women in uniform. For far too long, all the way back to 1979 to be exact, nations have tolerated Iran's destructive and destabilizing behavior in the Middle East and beyond. Those days are over. Iran has been the leading sponsor of terrorism, and their pursuit of nuclear weapons threatens the civilized world. We will never let that happen. Last week, we took decisive action to stop a ruthless terrorist from threatening American lives. At my direction, the United States military eliminated the world's top
He hasn't slept all night, Sandy.
terrorist, Qasem Soleimani. As the head of the Quds Force, Soleimani was personally responsible for some of the absolutely worst atrocities. He trained terrorist armies, including Hezbollah, launching terrorist strikes against civilian targets. He fueled bloody civil wars all across the region. He viciously wounded and murdered thousands of U.S. troops, including the planting of roadside bombs that maim and dismember their victims. Soleimani directed the recent attacks on U.S. personnel in Iraq that badly wounded 4 service members and killed 1 American, and he orchestrated the violent assault on the U.S. Embassy in Baghdad. In recent days, he was planning new attacks on American targets, but we stopped him. Soleimani's hands were drenched in both American and Iranian blood.
He didn't write this.
He should have been terminated long ago. By removing Soleimani, we have sent a powerful message to terrorists. If you value your own life, you will not threaten the lives of our people. As we continue to evaluate options in response to Iranian aggression, the United States will immediately impose additional punishing economic sanctions on the Iranian regime. These powerful sanctions will remain until Iran changes its behavior. In recent months alone, Iran has seized ships in international waters, fired an unprovoked strike on Saudi Arabia, and shot down 2 U.S. drones. Iran's hostilities substantially increased after the foolish Iran nuclear deal was signed in 2013, and they were given $150 billion, not to mention $1.8 billion in cash. Instead of saying thank you to the United States, they chanted death to America. In fact, they chanted death to America the day the agreement was signed.
They hate us.
Then Iran went on a terror spree, funded by the money from the deal, and created hell in Yemen, Syria, Lebanon, Afghanistan, and Iraq. The missiles fired last night at us and our allies were paid for with the funds made available by the last administration. The regime also greatly tightened the reins on their own country, even recently killing 1,500 people at the many protests that are taking place all throughout Iran. The very defective JCPOA expires shortly anyway and gives Iran a clear and quick path to nuclear breakout. Iran must abandon its nuclear ambitions and end its support for terrorism. The time has come for the United Kingdom, Germany, France, Russia, and China to recognize this reality. They must now break away from the remnants of the Iran deal, or JCPOA. And we must all work together toward making a deal with Iran that makes the world a safer and more peaceful place. We must also make a deal that allows Iran to thrive and prosper and take advantage of its enormous untapped potential. Iran can be a great country. Peace and stability cannot prevail in the Middle East as long as Iran continues to foment violence, unrest, hatred, and war. The civilized world must send a clear and unified message to the Iranian regime. Your campaign of terror, murder, mayhem will not be tolerated any longer. It will not be allowed to go forward. Today, I am going to ask NATO to become much more involved in the Middle East process. Over the last 3 years, under my leadership, our economy is stronger than ever before, and America has achieved energy independence. These historic accomplishments our strategic priorities. These are accomplishments that nobody thought were possible. And options in the Middle East became available.
Sounds
we are
sick.
now the #1 producer of oil and natural gas anywhere in the world. We are independent, and we do not need Middle East oil. The American military has been completely rebuilt under my administration at a cost of $2.5 trillion. U.S. armed forces are stronger than ever before. Our missiles are big, powerful, accurate,
That's him.
lethal, and fast. Under
Big.
construction are many hypersonic missiles. The fact that we have this great military and equipment, however, does not mean we have to use it. We do not want to use it. American strength, both military and economic, is the best deterrent. 3 months ago, after destroying 100% of ISIS and its territorial caliphate, we killed the savage leader of ISIS, al-Baghdadi, who was responsible for so much death, including the mass beheadings of Christians, Muslims, and all who stood in his way.
Oh,
He was a
really,
monster.
Mary? Oh my God.
Al-Baghdadi was trying again to rebuild the
Let's
ISIS
pray for
caliphate.
peace. It's all we can
and
hope for is
failed.
that
Tens of thousands of ISIS fighters have been killed or captured during my administration. ISIS is a natural enemy of Iran. The destruction of ISIS is good for Iran, and we should work together on this and other shared priorities. Finally, to the people and leaders of Iran, we want you to have a future, and a great future, one that you deserve, one of prosperity at home and harmony with the nations of the world. The
I'm
United
sorry,
States
man.
is ready to embrace peace with all who seek it. I want to thank you, and God bless America. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.
hope we can continue peace, y'all. I gotta go. Hop over to Molly Golightly. She's live. I gotta go get a shot in my arm. Tell her I said hi.
To the microphone and said, "As long as I am president,
Let there be
Iran will
peace."
never